This is Veda Sports, only on the VSiN Podcast Network.
Hello, folks. Welcome to the Veda Sports Podcast. Now, if I open the window and I look out my window there, to the right, I see Lake Mendota. Now, I'm on an isthmus in Madison. Probably 300 yards away is Lake Monona. Here I'm in Madison. Philip and I visiting my family here, my parents, my sister. All right, I'm now 17-21 for the year, down 4 units. Mike Sesteller, 23-15, but he did go 0-2 last week. He was 23-13. Mike did guarantee 4 wins this season, and he is 3-1 on his wins. He just shadowed Mike's bets. You'd be up 10 units more if you bet double on his guaranteed picks. Speaking of Mike the Mouth Madison is a 4-time World Series of Poker winner. Mikey knows sports, studies sports, and watches more games than all of us combined. Mike, can you give us a coherent rant?
No.
All right, give us the incoherent rant then.
Yeah, the incoherent rant is I was really wrong on the Jags. I was so sure they were the best team. And, I said they were going to stop the run, which is how the Bills control every game they're the best running team in football. They did that. They held Cooks to like 25 yards rushing, and somehow Superman Josh Allen with no wide receivers did it again. My handicap was perfect. You can't. Josh Allen's just so good. I hate being so wrong because I thought I was so right. And so it's pretty upsetting to lose that game. And I was wrong.
Is that the one where we all loved it? Because I know I love the Jags.
No, I love the Bills. Was
that a unanimous pick? Oh, yeah.
No,
Cantu picked the Bills.
I got to say why I love the Bills, because Josh Allen is playoff Josh Allen. I mean, I said I couldn't explain why they were going to win. Everything says the Jags, and here's Josh Allen.
Did you see those stats, Cantu? Like they compared him against the other top 3 quarterbacks, and he has like 29 touchdowns or like some. He just blows every other quarterback away.
He's 19 touchdowns, 1 pick in his last, I don't know, 5 playoff games.
It's
crazy.
He's so good in the playoffs. Specifically, it's like they save something in the playoffs
it's not rocket science. They just start running in the playoffs. I mean, Mahomes does this every year. Like, they're like, oh, Mahomes is taking a step back. He's not running it as much. Allen's, well, it's like, no shit. They're actually, when they get to this level, they get a little bit older, they get wiser, and their entire goal the whole year is make the playoffs and then turn Allen loose. But no, you had that pick. I actually was like, I took the Jags, but I said I hated it because I had the Bills winning the AFC, but I said like the Jags were the worst matchup on paper for them, and we'll cover the game this week for sure. But that was a good call by Cantu, and Allen's great, man.
It is really
and Lawrence played great. I mean, that's the thing. They stopped the run, and Lawrence was great. I mean, you could take away the last throw, but that really wasn't so much on him. It was he tried to feed it in a tight window and, got intercepted off the ricochet.
Okay, David, the businessman Woodley started Speed Survivor. Check out speedsurvivor.com. Oh, that company's flying. Our guy Woodley has great knowledge and sharp takes. Woodley, give us your incoherent rant.
I mean, it's not incoherent. I'm kind of tired of all the toxic positivity that's like for some reason entered the sports realm. I mean that there was like this whole story of that really annoying woman after the Jags lost, where she's like, "I just want to let you know, baby, it's okay. Like, you did great and this and that, and like you had a great season." And it's just so unnecessary.
I like that.
It's not like. Yeah, because you're an idiot, Mike.
The Jags had like 3 wins, 4 wins, 3 wins, 4 wins last.
I appreciate hijacking this as usual, but it's just totally unnecessary. It's totally unnecessary. Like, nobody was criticizing the coach. Like, he's gonna finish like top 3 of the year. Like, nobody was sitting there saying the Jags blew it. Like, there was no negativity at all. It's just so unnecessary. And when people like point out like, hey, that's not the job of a beat reporter, because it's really not. to be a cheerleader. Everybody like throws up their arms, and all of a sudden, like we're supposed to be all like hunky dory. And it's like, no, like this is professional sports. Okay. Like, first of all, the stakes are never that high. It's never like life or death, but like, we don't need to play it like it's like this hunky dory freaking roses and fucking butterflies type thing. Like, it's okay to have human emotion of being frustrated, upset, losing, all that. It makes like the winning better and all that. And on that other end, I'll tell you what, I was at the Steelers game on Monday night, and boy, did the downfall of Aaron Rodgers make my day, made my week, made my month. It kind of made my year. I mean, this is
because
like
we kicked your Minnesota Vikings ass for so many years.
I don't care. You know what Aaron Rodgers' legacy is? He won a lot of regular season games and didn't do shit in the playoffs. He won one Super
I was
Bowl.
at that Super Bowl in Dallas.
Congrats, but that's his legacy. His legacy is he's a bum. His teammates hate him. He's a whack job. He, nobody likes him.
You could have put Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen on that offensive line. They would have got the same amount of yards.
Shut up. Okay. Watching them take a 7-6 game in the fourth quarter, and it ends up 30-6 because Rodgers is fumbling and he's throwing pick sixes, and that's the end of his career. Walking off the field with a garbage game, got so frustrated. Tomlin retired over it as well. So bring back the misery. It's okay to feel miserable as a sports fan, and it's a million times correct to like revel in other people's misery. That was like my Super Bowl. Goodbye,
yes.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yes,
Goodbye,
Woodley.
these guys.
Yes. You're preaching to the choir. I'm going to Cantu in a second, but I have to comment on that. There was a whole generation that received participation awards. So if you had a race and there were 30 people in the race, you finished last, you got the same prize as the first prize, a participation award. My sons lived through that. And I'm like, what is going on here? Can we actually have a competition? Can we and so now, now we have people celebrating bad seasons. Well, yeah, we only won 3 games, but wow, I'm really proud of my team. And Woodley, one last thing. I love what you said right at the end there, because I happened to get on a plane to Chicago and Monday morning, and they started playing the Bears fight song and all this bullshit. And the woman next to me said she was crying. And I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. And the Bears are celebrating the Packers' misery. We celebrate their misery. It's called a rivalry. We still shake hands. We still have dinner together. We have a drink. We smoke a cigar,
Well, Woodley just knows about misery. He loses to the Bears. He loses to the Packers. He loses to every team in the NFC North.
Mike, thank you for another sparkling contribution.
Yes,
Brandon Cantu.
But what I would ask you, Phil, is like this whole oh, it's okay, pat you on the back. Go to Phil after he loses a final table at the World Series Poker and go, it's okay, Phil. You're still do you think Phil wants to hear that? It's okay, Phil. You
don't even want to hear it.
No, Phil's like a disaster, and he should be. This is what went. I promise you, Liam Cohen did not want to hear that. He must have been so annoyed, and he's in a. What's he supposed to do? Jump down her throat? But he doesn't want to hear it at that point. And that's I don't know. And everyone defending this is are you kidding me? This is where we draw the line in positivity. Man. Yeah. Anyways.
All right. Well, I'm a positivity guy. That's my hashtag on Twitter. Brandon Cantu is a 2-time World Series of Poker winner and has some well thought out takes. Cantu sometimes, like a few weeks ago, bets his entire net worth on one game. Cantu, what is your rant?
Yeah, first off, I just want to start. What a week. A month of football by the NFL. I had the best time ever watching all of these games. But you know what ruined my week? My whole weekend was ruined by, so the Bills are first and goal at the 1. They did that quarterback sneak that went, 15 to 25 yards. I forget the exact. It felt like he was just being carried all the way to the 1.
Yeah, that was
so
crazy.
Here it is. They review it. They do this long review, and it comes up. Oh, he's just short. He's at the half-yard line or 1 yard line. So we all know that the Bills are down 4. Well, you're going to have to kill the whole clock we're going to take a knee as close as we can get. We're going to take a knee. I mean, I know we all saw this play, and then we're going to score on second or third down. So we leave the Jags just a few seconds. What do the Bills do? The Bills just go and just march in. Now, here's when you know that you called the wrong play. When the defensive line goes and picks you up, they go and they pick up Josh Allen and they run in. They run into the end zone.
The defense carried him in.
I've never seen anything like that. That's when you know you have messed up so badly, like as a defensive or an offensive strategist.
And how many seconds were left, Cantu?
They gave him approximately a full
40,
minute.
right?
No, way more. It was like about a full minute.
A full minute.
That was
now, all right. So
I
Mike has a
disagree with
different
that.
perspective on this. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, well, I mean, David Baker said the same thing, and a couple other people said the same thing. But how many times do you see go up there, right? You're on the road, and you get a false start. Now you're sitting at like 2nd down and 6 if you took a knee. I just think that's the most ridiculous thing ever, okay? Especially, I've seen it happen a million times where they get a first to goal at the 1, then they run it and they get stopped. Then they go up there and they get a false start.
Okay, perfect. How many times do you see the Jags get the ball with a minute and just get a touchdown and you just lose?
Well,
I mean, we could play that
Jags,
devil's
the
advocate.
Jags had no
all day.
timeouts. How'd they end up doing? How'd they do? They got a pick on the first play. Okay,
They have the best kicker in football. I know you hate yardage. That kicker can kick from 75. he is the biggest leg in the NFL. They didn't even have to hit midfield.
How'd they do?
They had to get 25 yards.
How'd they do?
Oh, that's how Mike wants to play, results-oriented football. How'd they do, as he wants to say. I mean, we could do the how'd they do. It was the wrong decision at that time. Yeah, we could.
Now,
I've
never in the history of football, never in the history of football have I seen some team down by more than 3, first to goal at the 1, take a fucking knee and think they're going to get in on the next fucking play.
Okay, Mike. Okay, you made your point. Cantu made his point. It was his rant. Now I'm going to go to Woodley. Prepare yourself, Woodley, because I think it's very close. And I'm starting to wonder, I'm listening to both sides here, and I think it's very close to whether or not, I don't know if you can really take a knee. You have to somehow down the ball at the half yard. You have to keep it at the half yard line. Woodley, it's close. What do you have some thoughts? You think it's 50-50 or 60-40?
No, I think it's like you have to do it. It's like, it's not 60-40. It's like 90-10. Like you're either trying to win the game.
Okay, we might have lost Woodley. All right, so we'll come back after the break. Guys,
really?
We've given you our 4 rants. Now it's time to go to a break, and we'll be back in 1 minute with our number 1 picks.
You're listening to Feta Sports on the VEASAN Podcast Network.
Welcome back, folks. We have a contest where we give away $500 a week thanks to our sponsor, Edge Boost. Check out Edge Boost VEASAN Average Show Contest. Simply make 7 picks each week, NFL or college. Oh, wait, there's no more college. For your shot at $500. Already have an Edge Boost account? That price doubles to $1,000. Quarterly winners get airfare to Vegas, a 2-night stay at Circa Resort, and a guest spot on the VEASAN show. It's free to play. Join now at VEASAN, VSIN.com/Joe. Mike, now I'm hearing we have a very, very special segment coming here, Mike, because your number 1 pick is my number 1 pick. And Woodley and Cantu's number 1 pick is the opposite. So I've never seen this. Has never been close to this before. Mike and I on one side, Cantu and Woodley on the other side. Mike, start us off and tell us the pick. Go.
Well, I'm thinking about changing my pick because your number 1 pick is mine, and fucking you ain't never right. And so that changes my handicap. But with that said, they opened the line 4.5. It got bet to 3.5. The Rams are 1-9 Stafford's 1-9 in the playoffs in cold weather. I don't think it matters. You got one team that has an offense that's unstoppable versus one team that has nothing until the last 2 minutes of the game. They were down 21-3 to the Packers that are missing their whole team. I just don't think they're on the same playing field. They have 7 wins or 6 wins in the last 2 minutes of the game that they were trailing. The NFL record before that was 5. They have been dominated on both sides of the ball in every game they play. But the one thing that's going against me here is you got the one team that finds a way to lose every game that they've lost this year, and the other team who finds a way to win every game that they play this year, where they're completely outplayed. In the playoffs, it gets magnified, and you can't keep winning games that you're down by double digits with 5 minutes to go. Over the history of the NFL, you're 98% to win when you're up by more than 10 points with 5 minutes to go in the game. The Bears, they're 50-50. That's going to catch up to them in the playoffs. Give me the Rams, Mike. And the Rams are going to win big.
All right, Mike, I'm going to speak on this because I'm the one who's in pain. I'm in pain. Woodley's usually in pain, but I'm in pain. Those Bears, about 3 weeks ago, they were 98.5% to lose to my Packers. Some miraculous comeback involving an onside kick. This time, I believe it got to 91%. I'm watching this game. I'm so happy. Yes, we're going to finally do, and then just all hell broke loose. And I give a lot of credit to Caleb Williams.
Me too.
But remember the cardiac Bengals, Mike, maybe before your time. The Cincinnati Bengals, we're talking about maybe as long back as 1985, a long time ago. They won all these games at the last minute. And you know what happened? When you play bad, your luck runs out. Yeah, quote me. When you play bad, your luck's going to run out, and the Bears' time is up. They've run into what I think is the best team in the league, which Mikey thinks is the best team in the league. They're going to run into the Rams. They're going to get beat now. No caveats except to say that, like, if the weather's really bad, it might be the Bears will have a little bit more of a chance, in my opinion. The Rams,
it'll be cold.
The Rams are going to take this team out. All right, we're going to go to David Woodley and Cantu to plead the case for the Bears. By the way, the line is 3.5.
Yes.
Yeah. That's all fine and dandy, but you actually have to win the games. And the weather is going to be a major factor in Chicago. I think I saw it's going to be like 9 degrees and cold. Stafford is horrible in those conditions. He's really bad. They looked pretty terrible against Carolina. They haven't looked that great down the stretch. I mean, they beat a couple crappy teams. I mean, Arizona? They lost to Seattle in a game in which they were kind of getting lucky with turnovers to begin with. Sure, they're a good team, but
they were 98% to beat Seattle. Yeah.
They lost. I mean, you got to win the games. I mean, all this talk of this, that, and the other. And the Bears. I mean, the Bears actually played. I disagree that they were like outclassed that game against Green Bay. I think the Bears actually played them very well. I mean, why the Bears were losing is because they were 1 of 5 on fourth down. Like, they just couldn't get the fourth down going. And then once they did, they came back and won. But they're like, you could tell all the momentum was shifting in that Bears game pretty quickly. And the Bears are made for the playoffs, and they're made for the playoffs at home because they have 2 really solid running backs. They are made to win these games. They are made to win. They're built to win these games in the cold, wind. Listen, the Rams, I think the only guy that worries you on that team at this point is Puka because he's unguardable. But man, the Bears train's going to keep rolling again. Like I said this last week, even with Carolina, like I called the Panthers. I mean, I think the Panthers was my number 1 pick because I said, yeah, if this was in Los Angeles, they win in a landslide. But I was like, they're going to go play in Carolina. The weather's not going to be that good. Stafford is historically not good outdoors in bad weather. And the Rams should have lost that game. I mean, let's be honest there. And they're going to a worse environment against a much better team, a much better coach that can run the ball down their throat. And what sparked the Seahawks comeback was they ran the ball down the Rams.
There's 2 teams I said last week that were going to do something spooky. I can't explain. One was the Josh Allen. Remember, I said Josh Allen's just going to come to play in the playoffs. He's going to do this. He's going to do this magician stuff. He's going to come alive when it matters. This is playoff Josh Allen we're talking about. He came and he did exactly that. The second thing I told you I could not measure on why they were going to do it is Caleb Williams. When Caleb Williams came back, did you guys see the play? It was
the 4th and 8 play was incredible.
4th and 8 is stuck in my mind, by the way.
Hey, Caleb Williams does this lob throw. and you see a Packer coming from
off
three
of his back
angles.
foot.
Whoop, off the back foot. And here comes the Packers coming in from all angles at full speed. This is amazing. And this breadbasket throw that just lands. What a touch throw this was by Caleb Williams. That throw is exactly what I've been talking about, that the real teams come to play in the playoffs. Caleb Williams, well, not just Caleb does it, but the whole Bears team does something like that. Man, that was a beautiful throw. That
throw sticks in my mind, Cantu, to place it in between three Packers with all these people in your face on your back foot. Wow.
That was the best play of the playoffs so far,
Yeah.
and it probably will be the whole playoffs. It's going to be tough to beat. It could be beat, but it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful throw, and I think now we have an image of why Caleb Williams, I think that took him to the next level of why he's going to be great. And now I think if you were to go back and even redo that class, I think you'd say Caleb Williams is going to be first off the board again if you're to do that. He's going to be over Jaden. He's going to, I think.
Did you see the stat last week that all 6 games that the Sharps moved, all lost? They 0-6. Every line move went 0-6 last week.
Why was I only 1-1?
Because you
better than your 0-2, by the way, Mikey.
A couple other things I wanted to touch on the Rams. Everybody, including Las Vegas, I have not been a Rams fan. When I say I'm not a fan of the Rams, I still think maybe they're the best team in the NFC, and they're like tied with all these. It's just like a big clump of tie. Like who knows who's going to come out of here? But they're overvalued by the lines makers. I believe the Rams have lost 4 of their last 6. They struggled down the road. I don't know why they keep getting this much praise as they almost blew.
You act like the Bears didn't go 0-2 down the stretch and lose to a Detroit team that was missing their whole team, and they needed to win that game to get the 2 seed. So
they still got the 2 seed.
That's because the Eagles are so bad. It's a joke.
I think that both teams kind of faltered down the stretch a little bit. You look back at the Rams, and for them to lose that Seattle game, I think Mike said it was 98.5%. Seattle made that miracle comeback. They looked really bad against Carolina. It's almost like they believe their own press and their own hype. I will say this too. Cantu all year has said the Rams are not the best team. Mike and I all year have said the Rams are the best team. So I give you a little bit of credit for that.
Yeah, the one thing about the Rams is struggling right now is their back end. They have young cornerbacks, and they've been getting shredded. The young corners have been getting shredded. Now, you could say, well, Caleb's going to shred those young quarterbacks, okay? But what gets the Bears going? The run game. The Rams have the number 1 run defense in the playoffs. So if they can't get the run game going, that's going to close down the pass game, and I think that I just don't think I don't think the Bears can stop the Rams. I think the Rams will score in every possession.
I want to go back kind of to this. You guys are sitting here and glossing over. Look at the Rams struggle against the Panthers. They are lucky to get out of that. Bryce Young just shredded them a second time in a month and a half. I mean, that was
Carolina was
lucky.
6-2 at home. They beat the Packers. They beat the Rams.
Mike,
they beat a bunch of good teams. They beat them. They beat them. What do you? 2 minutes ago, you just said, it's about who won. That's all that matters.
No,
Seattle won.
You got to beat them by the spread. We're talking about spreads, Mike. We're not talking about that. We're talking about
the Rams didn't kick the shit out of them. The Rams lost to Seattle.
That is not what we're talking about. We're talking about beating the lines, Mike. We're talking about beating the lines. We are not talking about that. So if you want to talk about who's going to win the game.
Who the? They're 10.5 on the road in the playoff game.
Mike, stop. You've said it a million times.
We're talking about beating 10.5 points. On the Panthers Rams, they were lucky to win. They weren't even close to covering the 10.5.
Mike said it a lot of times. Good teams win. Great teams cover. You can't go against that now, Mike. You can't switch sides on us now, Mike. You've said that 100 times.
I agree.
Good teams win. Great teams cover.
They're 5-1 favorite. It's to win the game. Of course I'd hope they'd win. We're talking about covering lines here or covering the spread.
Well, we're also talking about they got lucky to win. We all know it. It looked like Carolina was going to win that game, but the Rams did come through. And so I think they're going to be more prepared for Chicago. I don't think they're going to come in with a lackadaisical, we're 5-1 favorite approach, because they're not 5-1 favorite now. They're very small favorites in this game. And so I think that's why I think they're going to be ready to play.
By the way, I got 4 on this game. I wanted to make that there's 3.5 and 4. And because I do believe that half a point is so crucial on this game. I think it's going to come down to a last second field goal again. Who's on the right side? I don't know, but give me the 4 points.
Mike, what do you think? I think they're going to win by 10.
Honestly, I think they're going to win the game in the cold where it's freezing, 27-3.
I'm going to go with 27-10, but so you and I see this. You and I both see this. Well, we think the Rams are the best team in the league. So
I think the Bears defense is absolutely horrific. And
yes,
and you're going against the best offense, and I just think that offense is gonna. You got to remember Carolina's defense. They were like a top 8 unit the last 10 games of the year. Now the Bears defense has just been awful, and the San Francisco put up like 50 on them. Well, I mean, I'm sorry, I just think that
I couldn't believe that. I watched that. We all watched that game closely. The San Francisco Bears game, and the Bears could not stop them. I mean, admittedly, San Francisco couldn't stop the Bears, but boy, that was quite a game. What was the final score?
It was like 52-49 or something like that.
Crazy, insane. All right, guys. All right, we're going to come back after the break. We may have lost Woodley. Verizon issues on the East Coast. All right, we've given you our number 1 picks. We've given you our rants, although I just kind of piled onto everybody else's rants. And now we're going to give you our number 2 pick and talk about every game on the other side of the break. See you in a minute.
You're listening to Feta Sports on the VSiN Podcast Network.
The Feta Sports Podcast is brought to you by our sponsor, Splash Sports. If you don't know Splash, the founders bought OfficeFootpool.com and RunYourPool.com, and they're now live in 45 states in Canada. Download the Splash Sports app, currently sitting at number 7 sports app in the App Store and climbing. You'll find all sorts of contests and bets starting at $5. Thanks again to Splash for sponsoring the Fade Us podcast. Cantu's been playing a lot of these Splash contests lately. Spent a lot of time on there. All right, we're on to our number 2 picks. Mike, you've been the hottest for the season. We're going to go with you for your number 2 pick. We'll start with you.
I'm gonna take a team that I think is not going to win. But I'm going to take 7.5 with San Francisco. Brock Purdy 4-0 on the road in Seattle. I think the week off is going to hurt them a little bit, not defensively, but offensively. The San Francisco team, who scored 3 2 weeks ago and lost 13-3, will get their points this week. I just think that Kyle Shanahan's going to look at the tape. They're going to see the mistakes they made, and it's going to be a low-scoring game again. I think Seattle wins the game 17-14, 20-6-17 area. San Francisco, I mean, with all the injuries, and listen, I told you all year the Eagles suck, so I don't want to give too much credit, but they did go in to Philadelphia, where it's the toughest place to win. The line opened 3, got bet to 6, and they took it to them. I mean, now this 2 weeks in a row, we talked about how awful the San Francisco defense was after the Bears game and the 3 games before that, right? Well, now we're coming to the end of the year after the Bears game. They've now held Seattle to 13, and then they held the Eagles to 19. If they hold Seattle to 19, I think there's a good chance they could win the game. I don't think they're going to win the game. I think Seattle's a better team. But with all the injuries, now they lost Kittle too. I just think that they play hard for the coach. The Robert Saleh is a unbelievable defensive coordinator. He's not a very good head coach. We've talked about this. But look what happened to the Jets. They were like top 3 defense when they fired him after week 4 and finished last in the NFL in defense. I mean, they've been last in the NFL since. Robert Saleh is a great schemer. He knows how to get pressure on Darnold. I think They play a tight game. Give me 7.5 with San Francisco as my second bet.
Okay, I'm going to go to Cantu on this, but before I do, let me just say this. On my site, the line just switched, believe it or not, Mike, to 6.5. So I see a 7, I see a 6.5, and I'm just kind of shocked that it moved because we usually don't. So we're gonna give Cantu. We're gonna let Cantu. At my site it's minus $1.10, 6.5. So we're gonna give Cantu some leeway. He can choose 7.5 or 6.5. We don't do that often, but it's kind of an influid thing. We're recording on a Wednesday. Go ahead, Cantu. Who do you like? You can use the 6.5 or the 7.5.
Well, I think I'll take the 6.5 then. If I can sit here and pick, I love Seattle in this game. I think that the 49ers have made a really big mistake. Did you kind of see where, I don't know if you saw the clips right after the game ended, they kind of come into all the 49ers, and each one that they were after their big win, they're asking, who do we get to play? They weren't sure right after the aftermath. And they're like, oh, the announcer would say, oh, you're playing Seattle. They're like, yes, we're getting Seattle. We're coming for you. We're ready. Let me tell you, I know all the Seahawks heard this, and they are going to be ready. You just got your ass kicked like up and down the field. You were lucky to only lose by 10 or 11 or whatever it was. Seattle is going to be ready. They're not looking past you whatsoever. They're not like, there is no looking past to get to the Rams. They know what they got to win. I think they're going to just open a can on them. I'm thinking 31-6. Sounds like a very nice score.
31-6. All right, Cantu. Now I've got a question or two for you.
When was the last time Sam Darnold and the Seattle team scored 31 points on offense? About 10 weeks ago. Mike. 10 weeks ago, maybe.
There you go. I couldn't tell you that.
And I'm going to make a similar point. I'm thinking like Mike's thinking. Will Darnold show up? He has a bad reputation for not playing well in the playoffs. This is a long-standing.
He hasn't played well in 7 weeks.
Cantu, is Darnold going to show up?
I don't even know that he needs to show up to win this game and to win it by 7. I don't know that the 49ers can score. I'm worried about the 49ers offense. They were stuck. I don't think they're going to move the ball. So you guys are over here worrying about Darnold. Darnold just needs to be a game manager. Doesn't need to do anything cute. Doesn't need to just burn you deep consistently. Let the 49ers make mistakes. Let them turn it over. We can punt on 4th and 2. We can punt on 4th and 2 and still win this game.
If we go back like 6 weeks, Cantu, if we go back like 6 weeks, you'll probably find that the Niners have averaged 27, 28 points per game going back 6 weeks.
They did have the one bad game against Seattle 2 weeks ago.
Correct. One bad game.
And I think that I think they'll make adjustments and they'll score 20. And if they score 20, when is Seattle on offense? Like they've scored 30, 35, and the defense has gotten them points. But Purdy is the best playoff quarterback the last 4 years.
Hold on, Mike. I love when Mike asks me questions and asks me for a stat. When was the last time? And he uses the number of 31 points. They just did it against the Rams on December 18th, Mike. They scored 38. They won 38-37. So that game was, I have to go way back.
That game was 31 to 15 with 8 minutes to go. Give me a break. They had the one. They got the punt return. They got the punt return, and then they got the one drive that Darnold did.
Give you a break. You're the one that asked the question.
Punt returns don't count as offensive points. I said, when was the last time they scored 30 offensive points?
Of course they Mike. All points count as points. It doesn't matter if you score them on special teams, on defense. They're still points.
You guys are both right. You guys are both right. Move on. Yeah, 38, but I think they had a defensive touchdown too or something, Cantu. Like a bunch of turnovers, a bunch of weird stuff. So you want to take credit for that. I'm going to give you credit because they scored 38, but it's a very weak.
They have the
It's a very weak 38.
No, but they have the best special teams. I mean, they've returned multiple kickoffs this year. They have the best special teams in the NFL, bar none. So you got to count it. And they have the best defense. So you got the best. These are X factor like things.
Listen, I didn't say they were going to win. I like Seattle to win the game. I just think that they're not going to destroy them like they did the last time they played. That's all.
It's very interesting too because the 6.5, 7.5 that makes a really big difference. The way I think.
when I got on the show today, it was 7.5. I specifically looked it up in my spot.
Yeah. Well, we don't waste a lot of time debating.
For a line to move 1 point since we've been on recording, that's
crazy.
I don't know what's going on.
Crazy.
That line
and moved in touch and moved for the 49ers. So I think Mike would say that means the pros are hammering the 49ers.
It ain't the short,
or injuries. It's that or injury. So
well, let's take a look at who was injured last week that what we think was going to be out.
Come on, Mike. We're going to move on. We don't want to get too much into this. Let's not go too far into the weeds on this, but it's very interesting and it really influences the way I think on this game. And 2 weeks ago, I would have picked Seattle in this game, but I'm with you. I'm taking the 49ers. I'm going to take the 7.5 number. I'll pay a little extra juice. But I'm going to take the 49ers because they were very impressive against Philadelphia. They're a very together team. They had that one really bad game against Seattle. But again, if you look back 6 weeks, they've scored a ton of points. So I don't know if they win the game, but give me 7.5. I'm thinking like Mike. This could be like, 20-17 or, 24-17. Where the half point actually shows up. So I'm also on the Niners in this one. Don't love them. But hey, look, let's move on to my number 2 pick, please, guys. Houston. I love Houston in this game. They're at New England. Right now, the line is 3. I'm seeing a 3 +3 for Houston. I believe Houston is going to win the Super Bowl. I bet them. I bet a large bet at 14-1 a few weeks ago. I was a little bit entertained by my friend Mikey, who said, boy, oh boy, what a bad bet that was near the middle of the second quarter in the Pittsburgh game. And I'm like, what did you say, Mike? I wanted to repeat it for the record. And then, of course, killed. Houston showed up. And I think Houston, they have the number 1 defense, maybe Cantu. Maybe it's not Seahawks. Maybe it's not Denver. But whatever, that's a top 3 defense. I'm not sure that New England's played anybody tough all year. Stroud, who you guys have been throwing around on the stream, on our private text stream, he sucks. No, he had a really bad year last year, and he didn't start great this year, but then he learned a big lesson. When he was sitting on the sideline, I think it was Davis Mills took over.
He learned how to be the second quarterback in the history of the NFL to have 5 fumbles and a pick and win the football game. He learned that he has the best defense since the 2002 Ravens. That's what he learned.
He also delivered a bunch of strikes, Mike. I think they scored some points. What was the final score?
It wasn't him.
Was it 30-7?
They got a strip sack for 7, a pick 6 for 7. They had like 10 points with like 8 minutes to go in the game. He was terrible.
He delivered some really nice passes, Mike. So everybody's terrible. Mike has a very very high bar. Everybody's terrible. Everybody's terrible.
CJ did have a terrible game. You can't give. I don't care what you did. I don't care if you completed every pass. You fumbled 5 times. That's a terrible game. I agree. You can't. They won off that. That is all your defense. I'm going to agree with Mike on that. This line I think is really tough. I kind of feel it makes for a bad debate, but I feel like 3 is right on. I guess with a gun to my head, I'm going to go take the Patriots if I have to choose. Don't love this game. I am very interested in who wins this game because I think whoever wins this game, it's kind of, we're going to had like an overachieving season. I don't think that these two teams you think of making the AFC Championship team at least before the season.
I don't know. Houston had a big over-under on wins. Now, of course, the Patriots didn't, so I agree with half of your point there, Cantu.
Yeah, and a lot of that, though, has to do with playing in a very soft, what we thought was going to be a very soft AFC South. Now, the Jaguars did have a great year. Give me the Patriots. I think the cold weather is such an important part of these playoffs. Teams that are from Houston, it's going to feel just like needles going into your skin for those Houston Texans.
Needles going into your skin. Amen. I agree.
It's going to be a low scoring game.
Mikey, who do you like?
I've gone against. I've told you what I thought of the Patriots all year.
You did,
but I also, I can't believe how awful CJ Stroud was last week. Now I know that they played Pittsburgh is not that good. The Patriots are better defense than Pittsburgh. Wow.
This is
I
a
don't
real
know.
offense. This is a real offense.
Yeah, if you get to 3.5, I think I take the 3.5. If it goes to 3, I probably stay off the game. I'm leading the other way.
All right, guys. All right. So we've given you our number 2 picks. We're going to come back after the break, and we're going to talk about the only game we haven't talked about. In fact, we might not have given you our number 2 picks, but we're still going to come back after the break. And we're going to talk about the last game on the board, Buffalo Bills
That's a
at
good
Denver
one.
Broncos. See you in a minute.
You're listening to Feta Sports on the VEASAN Podcast Network.
Folks, you might be listening to this podcast because you want an edge. You have the mindset. Now it's time to get the toolkit to match pro, better, spend thousands of dollars on data and tools. What they don't want you to know is you can get the same edge for a fraction of the cost with VEASAN Pro. With VEASAN Pro, you get access to expert picks, public betting data, prop projections, powerful tools, analytics, and more. Just tap the link in the description and see why thousands of bettors are already using VEASAN Pro to cash more bets. VEASAN Pro really is a good product with a ton of great information. Okay, now, one game we didn't cover yet. Okay, and Cantu, is this one of your picks, or is this one of your picks, Mikey?
Yes.
Your number 2 pick?
Bills are my number 2.
Mike, your number 2 pick was what?
San Francisco.
Okay, so we talked about that already. Okay, Cantu, tell us why you like the Buffalo Bills. It looks like plus 1.5 on
Phil,
app.
hold on. Wait. Mike has some breaking news. Hold on, let's go.
You know, I watched the line was 7.5, and while we're recording this, it went to 6.5. And I think it has to do with injuries. DeMarcus Lawrence for Seattle, Achilles is a game-time decision. He's limited in practice. Ricky Woolen.
Mike, drop the big one. Come on.
Mike, give us the big one.
Okay, the big one is Fred Warner, who's been out for 6 weeks now. And they said that was out for the year because of the ankle. He's practicing and is a game-time decision. So
Let me just tell you about the Fred Warner, because I've been following the story. They did say he was out, but he kept saying, I'm going to be back for the playoffs. I'm going to be back for the playoffs. I'm going to be back for the playoffs. I heard him say it over and over again, and it looks like he's back for the playoffs. That is a game-changing defender.
Yeah,
also, Pearsall said he's optimistic to play 1 hour ago. So.
Wow.
So Pearsall looks like he's going to play. Fred Warner, the 50-50. I think that for the line to move, because he's worth 0.5 point. He's like one of the very few defenders that are. But again, when you're out that long, how much of a difference does it make? I mean, who knows? You know, we don't know what condition he's in if he is able to come back. But these are the 4 reasons.
Mike, you know who Willis Reed is? Willis Reed, New York Knicks. Remember when he came out on the court and the Knicks fans went crazy? Willis Reed. He couldn't move. He couldn't do much, but he fired that arena up. And more importantly, since they're playing in Seattle, he fired that team up. So I think you're right. I think Fred Warner is one of the very few that could make maybe 0.5 point or maybe a whole point difference, him being out there and not. His presence is going to be felt for sure. Cantu.
Yeah, back to Bills at Denver. I wanted to get back into this because I'm going to go back into this. Is spooky Josh Allen. This is playoff Josh Allen. This is a different animal. And I am not a McDermott fan. I will say, even when Josh Allen was going up against Mahomes all those years, he's been just so great. It's that Mahomes, it's not Josh Allen's fault. It's that he would get stuck where Josh Allen wouldn't get the ball back on last time. That is not, they won and we can all hang your head, but they would go back and forth. Well, there is no Mahomes on the other side. This is Bo Nix. This is not Mahomes. This is my Super Bowl pick, the Bills, and I don't know how the Bills are going to do it. This is just a money line game. I want the Bills, and I think they're going to do the exact same thing that they did to the Jaguars. It's going to be the same type of game. I think they're going to get frustrated on the run. Cook only averaged 3 yards a carry. He didn't do anything special, But when it came down to it, Josh Allen made it happen. I think Josh Allen's going to make it happen again. I'm not caught up into this, what I would call a sexy defense that Denver has. I'm not caught up in Bo Nix. I know he had some really nice fourth quarter comebacks in the regular season. Well, do it against Josh Allen in the playoffs. That is the difference. This is playoff Josh Allen. I don't want to get too deep into all the other stuff.
So the reason why this line has moved like 3 points is John Franklin Myers, who's been out all year. He's back for the defense for Denver. Dre Greenlaw, linebacker, he's back for Denver. Lucas Kroll, the tight end, he's back. These are all people have been out most of the year, last 5 weeks.
It's not a real 3 points.
The Bills have lost 2 more wide receivers from last week. They lost Gabe Vincent for the week, and they lost Terrell Shavers, who tore his ACL. So they lost 2 more wide receivers last week. They basically have my 5 cats as their wide receivers. And the other, so you have the other team getting.
But Superman's throwing to the 5 cats.
What about Diggs?
We got one team getting. Diggs is not even on their team. They're on the Patriots. Nice, but you'll get it. You'll catch up one day and understand who's on what team.
Thank you, Mike.
Diggs hasn't been on Buffalo in 3 years. This is the guy that we have on our show picking games for you.
I apologize. Go on.
Anyway,
very high quality analysis from Kansas. Continue, Mike.
So one team's got their two of their best defenders back. The other team's missing 2 more wide receivers than they have. They literally have nobody to throw to.
Back to Mike's 5 cats.
And Denver has one of the top 3 run defenses in the league, so they're going to be able to shut Cooks down, and Josh Allen is going to have to throw to himself or run the ball. Or this is why the lines moved. I mean, I knew lines don't move 3 points, especially for against the Bills, which is a public team. So, yeah,
very interesting. All right, so I'll weigh in on this. I was really leaning towards a little Cantu's theory of the spookiness and he really is Superman. But man, who's he going to throw the ball to? And Denver I just think Sean Payton, who Mike and Cantu think is like, 70th percentile coach, 60th percentile coach. I think he's going to have them ready. I think the week off, usually they've been discovering that it can help, it can hurt. I think it's going to help them. They've had a chance to get some people healthy. This game is in Denver, the Mile High Stadium. That's a big advantage. And I'm starting to like Denver more and more as I talk about this. And I'm definitely going to go with Denver in this game. I think I wouldn't be surprised that defense, just listening to Mike's analysis of the defense being able to stop the run. That's big. And so can Josh Allen really do it again? And Cantu, I couldn't help but reminisce as you were talking about how studly Allen's been. And I believe they left Mahomes with 18 seconds left one of those years.
13. Now
13? And somehow he won. That was a miracle of miracles. I don't even know how that could happen.
It looks like the Bills are getting Curtis Samuel back as a wide receiver. I mean, he was like a 4-string wide receiver anyways. And DeMar Hamlin on their defense looks like he's going to be back.
Just know the name Josh Allen, Mike. Just remember Josh Allen.
So, Mike, you and I are both on Denver in this game, right?
I'm leaning towards Denver. I mean, I think everybody's like they're the worst number 1 seed in the history of the NFL.
That could
and the Bills are going to kill them.
That could be.
And maybe you're right, but
Bills are not going to kill anybody. Their defense hasn't been very good. So, but yeah, I expect this to be a close game. Mike, you think it's going to be close?
Oh yeah. I mean, somehow, somehow Josh Allen will keep it closer, or you could look at it the other way. Somehow Bo Nix will keep it close.
Denver's going to need to score some points. I'll be surprised. Yes, Denver has a great defense, but I will be surprised if they're not up in the 27 plus category. I like the over 27. In this game. I think the Bills are going to score.
I mean, the Denver defense is ranked number 2.
You're right, they are.
Texans.
And I think, they've got to go up against the best quarterback in the playoffs.
Okay, guys, look, it's time to wrap up here. Me from Madison, Wisconsin. Cantu from somewhere near Portland, Oregon. Mikey from Las Vegas. We lost Woodley. He went down in New Jersey on the East Coast with the rise and failure. Guys, Great episode. See you later.
Yeah.